Welcome to the presentation entitled Effective Communication in a Mentoring Relationship. Developing clear expectations in a mentorship will help facilitate meaningful communication. The ability to set clear expectations can be enhanced when mentors and protégés take the time to get to know each other, keep a regular meeting schedule, communicate between meetings, and remain focused on the big picture. The mentorship agreement gives mentors and protégés a formal way to work through the conversation about defining their goals and designing activities that will help them realize those goals. Explicit institutional and discipline-specific norms, standards, and expectations should also be a part of that conversation. Expectations should be revisited frequently and modified whenever necessary. Communication skills that will enhance the mentoring relationship include assertiveness and confidence in order to be able to express feelings effectively and set boundaries. Open-mindedness to maintain a non-judgmental attitude in the face of disagreement. Self-awareness so you can recognize and accept your own limitations. Trustworthiness in order to encourage those you are with to share their views and feelings. Arguably, the most important skill is active listening. You can demonstrate that you are an active listener in the following ways. Give your full attention. Maintain eye contact. Ask questions for clarification. Paraphrase and restate what has been said. Pay attention to the feelings being expressed behind the words. Becoming an effective communicator in a mentorship involves work. Skills should not only be developed but continuously improved. Both members of the mentorship need to be able to frame what is being said to them appropriately, not only according to the life situation and background of the mentoring partner, but also according to culture. It is important to take the time to understand cultural competency. Core skills associated with cultural competency are empathy, curiosity, respect, and an appreciation of social context.
When we think about the team, the interprofessional team, they're not only coming from different professions, each of which has their own culture, but they're also coming with their cultural values, beliefs, behaviors, and lenses that they bring from their own life. Too often, misunderstandings happen between patients and providers, also between providers and providers, because of cultural misunderstandings.
Mentors must also be prepared to offer language assistance to protégés who have limited English proficiency. Mentors and mentees should also be aware that standards of health practice require that they inform anyone in need of language assistance of the availability of language assistance services clearly and in their preferred language, verbally and in writing. The importance of nonverbal communication can't be overstated. What does good body language look like? Arms are not crossed. Eye contact is made with the person you're talking with. You're sitting at the same height and making an effort not to be above them. You're attempting to mirror the other person's body language and leaning into the conversation. Being able to ask a question of someone without evoking negative emotions and being able to direct someone to do something without evoking negative emotions are extremely desirable skills for anyone, but they are crucial for mentors. If you intend to give feedback, make it meaningful and effective. Research has shown that the wrong type of feedback can have negative effects. In the next segment, Carol Tutzauer of the Center for Educational Innovation provides us with information on what the research tells us about feedback.
In an exhaustive meta-analysis of studies on feedback interventions, the authors identified approximately 5,000 academic works on feedback, 2,500 papers, and 500 technical reports. The first bad news? Out of those 5,000 works, only 131 were sufficiently rigorous and scientific to be included in the meta-analysis. Moral to this story, Don't believe everything you read because most of it doesn't meet basic standards of science or conform to accepted scientific principles about what is best for feedback. More bad news. They found that 1/3 of feedback interventions actually negatively impacted performance. That's right, feedback interventions actually hurt performance in certain cases. So we need to ask why. What differentiated feedback interventions that gave positive effects from those that had negative consequences or effects? Basically, it depends on whether the feedback centers on task or ego. Feedback that threatens my ego, my person, will cause me to tune out, to shut down. On the other hand, if feedback addresses the task, the student will remain cognitively engaged. For example, I might say, try looking at the task from another perspective. Talk to me about that a bit. How can you improve your performance by taking this different approach? Now the feedback is task-oriented, not ego-involving. And that leads to improvements in performance rather than performance declines.
Carol's full presentation is in a discussion forum in this module and includes effective strategies for providing feedback. Communication pitfalls that can damage a mentorship include interrupting, arguing, opposing regularly, blaming, passing judgment, not recognizing a person's right to their own opinion, giving advice instead of working to find alternatives, jumping to conclusions, and abusing confidentiality. Social media and emerging technologies are very useful for communication and collaboration. It's important to identify the right tools for your specific needs. Web conferencing tools can help you connect anytime and any place. Skype is one of the most popular web conferencing tools and is commonly used among friends and family members to stay connected. Microsoft Skype for Business is a supported platform at the University at Buffalo. Google Hangouts is also a very popular and freely available collaborative tool. The SUNY Tools of Engagement project, also known as TOPE, is an online professional development offering. The goal of TOPE is to encourage exploration and reflection on the use of emerging technological tools. The TOPE website contains a curated list of tutorials and resources pertaining to not only web conferencing tools, but many others. In summary, key ideas in this presentation include that developing clear expectations in a mentorship will help facilitate meaningful communication. Important skills to develop in a mentoring relationship include assertiveness, open-mindedness, self-awareness, and active listening. Nonverbal communication matters, and mentors and mentees should strive to be conscientious about exuding good body language. In order to frame what is being said appropriately, cultural competency has to be taken into account. Core skills associated with cultural competency are empathy, curiosity, respect, and an appreciation of social context. Mentors must offer language assistance to protégés who have limited English proficiency. Providing feedback is an important part of a mentorship, and the wrong kind of feedback can actually have a negative effect. Strategies are available for providing effective feedback. Web conferencing tools can help you connect anytime and any place, and the SUNY Tools of Engagement project, also known as TOPE, is an online professional development offering containing a curated list of tutorials and resources pertaining to web conferencing tools and many others.